Did yours stop working too? That was the first full English sentence a stranger said to me that day. I was sitting in a phone repair shop, and for 3 seconds, I forgot how to answer.
Haha, you are in a repair shop, Ava. At least one thing there was supposed to stop working. I just did not expect it to be your English.
Oh, thank you, Lucas. Very gentle. And the funny part is, I understood the words. I just was not ready for a real person to ask me something.
That makes this story better already. But before you tell me how badly it went, we should say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Modern English Podcast. I'm Ava, and today I'm telling the story of my first real English conversation.
And I'm Lucas. I have been promised a broken phone, nervous English, one strange answer, and at least one moment Ava still wishes she could delete.
Yes, and unfortunately, there is no delete button for this story. Stay with us, because the sentence that made the woman laugh came much later.
Good. Now I'm curious. So tell me why you were sitting in a repair shop in the first place.
I had dropped my phone that morning. The screen still worked, but there was a long crack across it, so I took it to a small repair shop near my office.
A crack is a thin broken line, right? So the phone was alive, but it looked like it had been through a difficult week.
Exactly. The man at the desk told me the repair would take about 25 minutes. I thought, fine, I can wait 25 minutes.
Then you remembered the terrible truth. Your phone was not with you, so you could not look busy and avoid all human contact.
That is exactly what happened. I sat down with nothing in my hands. No phone, no book, no headphones, just me and one very boring wall.
That sounds dangerous. 25 minutes alone with your own thoughts can change a person.
I was doing fine until a woman came in and sat 2 chairs away. She looked about 30, had a small travel bag, and spoke English with the man at the desk.
And the second you heard English, you became interested.
Interested and nervous. I could understand parts of their conversation. She was visiting from the United States, and her phone had stopped charging.
So you were quietly listening while trying very hard to look like you were not quietly listening.
Yes, I suddenly became deeply interested in a poster about phone batteries. I read the same 3 lines about 6 times.
Very natural behavior. Nothing says, I am relaxed, like studying a battery poster with full concentration.
Then the woman sat down, looked at my empty hands, and asked, "Did yours stop working too?" It caught me off guard.
Caught me off guard means it surprised you before you were ready, and I'm guessing you were very, very not ready.
Not ready at all. I looked at her and said, "No, yes. I mean, it works, but it is broken." Then I pointed towards the desk, like that would explain everything.
It works, but it is broken is a beautiful sentence. Confusing, but beautiful.
She smiled and said, "Ah, cracked screen." I knew screen, but I did not know cracked at that time. I thought she was asking if the screen had made a sound.
Wait, really? What did you say?
I said, "No, it was quiet." Lucas, I said it with full confidence.
Oh no, she asked about the broken line on your screen and you told her your phone was quiet. That is wonderful.
She looked confused for 1 second, then I realized something was wrong. I said, "Sorry, I don't know that word. What is cracked?"
That was a good save. You didn't pretend you understood, you just asked about the word.
She made a little line in the air with her finger and said, "Cracked, like broken glass." Then I understood and said, "Oh, yes, my screen is cracked."
And I hope you added, but very quietly.
I did not, but I wish I had. She laughed a little, and somehow that helped. The conversation stopped feeling like a test.
What did she ask next?
I asked how long the repair would take. That question was easy. I said, "About 25 minutes. They just started."
Nice. Short answer, clear meaning, no emergency. Your English was back online.
For about 10 seconds, yes. Then she said something fast about needing her phone before going somewhere, and I missed the last part.
Did you use the old smile and hope method?
I almost did, but I said, "Sorry, I missed the last part. Where are you going?" That felt much easier than pretending.
I like that phrase. I missed the last part. Simply means you didn't hear or understand the end of what someone said.
She repeated it more slowly. She was going to meet a friend near a shopping street, but she needed her phone because the address was in a message.
That's a very normal problem now. Without our phones, half of us don't know where we're going.
True. She joked that her phone knew the city better than she did. I laughed and said, my phone knows my life better than I do.
That sounds a little scary, Ava. What exactly does your phone know?
Why do you sound so interested, Lucas? It knows my calendar, my photos, my food orders, and maybe a few messages that are none of your business.
Fine, I will stop digging before you hide the whole story.
Fair enough. Anyway, she told me her name was Rachel. I introduced myself, and she asked if I worked nearby.
That must have been an easier question after the cracked screen confusion.
It was. Then Rachel said she had an hour before meeting her friend and asked if there was somewhere quiet nearby.
Okay, that sounds normal. Did you know a place you could suggest?
I knew a small second-hand bookshop 2 streets away. I said, there's a bookshop nearby. Upstairs is quiet, and there are chairs by the windows.
That sounds clear. You were already doing much better than your first answer.
Rachel asked, is it usually crowded? I knew that word, so I said, not in the afternoon. It gets busier later.
Nice. You were giving local advice without making every sentence a big event.
Then she said, that sounds worth a look. I had never heard worth a look, so my face probably showed the question before my mouth did.
Worth a look means something seems good or interesting enough to check out. It's a useful little phrase.
I asked her what it meant, she explained it, and we moved on. That surprised me, because I thought one unknown phrase would stop everything.
But it didn't. It became 10 seconds of the conversation, and then the next topic arrived.
At first, I was only answering. Then there was a small silence, and I thought, okay, Ava, do something. So I asked, is this your first visit here?
Nice. Very normal question. No deep thinking required.
She said it was her second visit. The first time had been for work, but this time she had 2 free days before flying home.
And now you had a new topic. You could ask what she had seen, where she had gone, or what she liked.
Exactly. I asked what she had done that morning. She told me she had walked around an old market and bought a scarf for her sister.
See, now this sounds like an actual conversation, not English practice.
That was the first moment I noticed it too. I wasn't thinking I'm practicing English. I was just curious about her trip.
That's probably why your answers became more natural.
Yes. She showed me the scarf because it was in her bag. I said, oh, that's really pretty. Your sister will like it.
Okay, now I need the next part. What did she say?
Rachel said, I hope so. She is difficult to shop for. I understood every word except the full meaning of difficult to shop for.
It means it's hard to choose a gift for that person. They may be picky or you may not know what they want.
Right. I asked her what she meant and she explained it. Then I said, oh, my brother is like that. He says he wants nothing and then he does not like what we buy.
That sounds very real. A person who wants nothing but also has strong opinions about every gift.
Yes, but we did not talk about it in a clever way. We just complained about hard-to-shop-for family members for a minute.
Honestly, that is how many good conversations work. Mild complaining is an international language.
True. Then Rachel asked if I had ever been to the United States. I said no, but I would like to visit one day.
Did she ask where you wanted to go?
She did, and I had a strange problem. I knew the city name perfectly, but the second she waited for my answer, I started doubting my pronunciation.
Ah, that little delay when your mouth knows the word, but your confidence asks for extra paperwork.
Exactly. I said, I would like to visit Chicago. Then I watched her face like I was waiting for exam results.
And did she understand the impossible word Chicago?
Immediately, she said, oh, I love Chicago. I felt silly for worrying so much.
That happens. Sometimes the fear before the word is much bigger than the actual problem.
Exactly. She started telling me about a place near the water. She spoke faster because she got excited, and I lost part of the sentence again.
What did you do this time?
I said, wait, I got the first part, but not the end. She laughed and repeated it more slowly.
That sounds much more natural than freezing. You told her exactly where you lost the meaning.
Yes, and after that I felt more comfortable saying when I did not understand. I stopped treating it like a secret.
Good, because if you hide every problem, the other person cannot help you.
Then came the sentence I told you about at the beginning, the one that made Rachel laugh.
Finally, I have been waiting for this. What did you say?
She told me she loved walking in new cities. I wanted to say, I get tired very quickly, but I mixed up my words and said, I become boring very quickly.
Oh, Ava. So after a short walk, you do not get tired, you simply become less interesting as a person.
Exactly. Rachel looked at me, then started laughing. I knew immediately that I had said something strange.
What did you do?
I laughed too and said, no, that's wrong. I mean, my body gets tired. I do not become boring.
I'm glad you corrected that. Imagine leaving the shop thinking, that woman becomes boring after 12 minutes of walking.
Rachel said, you mean you get tired quickly? I repeated it, and then I said, yes, my English just made me a very boring person.
That was actually a good recovery. You turned the mistake into a joke.
And after we laughed, I felt much more relaxed. I think that was the moment I stopped trying to protect myself from every mistake.
Did Rachel ever make you feel bad about your English?
Not once. Sometimes she waited, sometimes she repeated something, once she used an easier word. That was all.
That matters. A normal conversation has small repairs all the time, even between people who speak the same language.
Yes. A few minutes later, she asked how long I had been learning English. I told her I had studied it for years, but I hadn't spoken much.
What did she say?
She looked surprised and said, really, you're doing fine. I remember those exact words because I had expected something much worse.
That must have felt good.
Then she asked what I usually did after work. I said I sometimes walked home, watched something, or called my family.
Very ordinary answer, which is exactly what real conversation needs.
Yes, then Rachel said she always called her mother when she traveled because her mother worried too much.
I can already guess your reply. You probably said your family does the same.
I did. I said, if I don't answer for 1 hour, my mother starts a small investigation.
A small investigation. Calls, messages, maybe one family member checking your last location.
Exactly. Rachel laughed and said, same. Then she asked if I lived with my family.
And this is where normal conversation can get a little personal. Did you mind the question?
No, it was fine. I answered simply. Then Rachel smiled and said, you're easy to talk to. Do you use English a lot?
Wait, she actually said you were easy to talk to? I believe that part.
Oh, you answered very quickly, Lucas. I thought we were talking about my English.
We are. I just think some people make a conversation feel easy without trying too hard.
Some people. That sounded carefully chosen.
It was a general sentence. Please do not examine every word like a detective.
Too late. Anyway, I told Rachel I had studied English for years, but I hadn't used it much in real conversations.
And she had already been talking with you for how long?
I checked the wall clock, almost 15 minutes.
That's the funny part. You were nervous about having a real conversation while already having one.
Exactly. I looked at the clock and thought, wait, we've been talking for 15 minutes?
Did that make you feel more confident?
A little. I stopped worrying about how long I could keep going. I had already gone much longer than I expected.
What kept the conversation moving after that?
Nothing special. Rachel mentioned one thing, I reacted to it, and that gave us something else to talk about.
Give me an example.
She mentioned that she liked taking photos when she traveled. I asked what she liked to photograph. She said doors, windows, street signs, little things people usually ignore.
That's actually interesting. What did you say?
I said I usually took photos of food and then forgot to take photos of the place.
Rachel laughed and said, so your trips look like restaurant menus.
You kind of have a point there.
I can believe that about you.
Why are you saying that with so much confidence?
Because if there's a beautiful view on one side and a good dessert on the other, I know which one gets your attention first.
You notice a lot about me for someone who's just doing an English podcast.
maybe you just make some things easy to notice. That's all I'm saying.
That was suspiciously smooth. Rachel and I kept talking until the man at the desk called her name.
Was her phone ready?
Not yet. He only needed to ask her a question about the charging port. So she got up, spoke to him, then came back.
Did the break make the conversation harder again?
For a few seconds, yes. I thought maybe the conversation was finished. Then Rachel sat down and said, "Where were we?"
That's a useful natural phrase. Where were we means what were we talking about before we stopped?
Right. I remembered we were talking about photos, so I said, "You were making fun of my food pictures."
Nice. A little joke brought the conversation back.
Then she asked if I ever posted my photos online. I said sometimes, but not everything.
Because some things are private, including those secret messages you mentioned earlier.
You are holding on to that very hard. Maybe I should change the story.
No, please continue. I'm behaving now.
Rachel told me she had a private photo album just for her trips. I liked that idea, so I asked how many countries she had visited.
Was the number very high?
Higher than mine. She said 12. I wanted to say, that is impressive, but I was not sure if I was using impressive correctly.
Impressive means something makes you admire it because it is very good or difficult to do.
Exactly. I finally said it, and she understood. Then she asked how many countries I had visited.
And you answered without giving yourself 5 minutes to prepare?
I said, not many yet, but I want to travel more. Then I added, I need better walking shoes first, because apparently I become boring very quickly.
You brought the mistake back. That is good.
Rachel laughed again. At that point, the mistake did not embarrass me anymore. It had become our little joke.
That is a nice change. The thing you wanted to hide became part of the conversation.
Yes. Then my name was called. My phone was ready.
So the 25 minutes were almost over.
They were. I stood up, paid for the repair, and checked the new screen. When I came back, Rachel was still waiting.
Did you sit down again, or did you use the working phone as your escape?
That is the part I remember most. I looked at my phone, then put it in my bag, and sat down again.
Oh, that says a lot. At the beginning, you wanted something to hide behind. Now you had your phone back and didn't need it.
Exactly. I wanted to finish the conversation properly. I asked Rachel how much longer she had to wait.
And what did she say?
About 10 more minutes. I told her I should leave soon, but I could show her the bookshop on my map before I went.
That was kind of you. Did she need it?
Yes. I showed her the street and the bookshop name. She took a quick photo of the map with a small spare phone she had in her bag.
Wait, she had a spare phone the whole time?
Yes, I found that out at the end. I said, "You had another phone?" She said, "Only for emergencies."
That is funny. You spent 25 minutes helping a woman who secretly had backup technology.
I know. I told her, "You are more prepared than I am." She said, "Not really. I still broke the important phone."
Fair point. How did you end the conversation?
I said, "It was really nice talking with you." She said the same and thanked me for the bookshop idea.
Did you feel strange walking out?
A little. I stepped outside and suddenly realized I had been speaking English for almost half an hour.
Half an hour is very different from your first 3 confused seconds.
Yes, and the funny thing is, I couldn't remember most of the grammar I had used. I only remembered the conversation.
That sounds very human. You remembered Rachel, the broken phones, the scarf, the travel talk, and the boring mistake.
Exactly. I also remembered that I had asked for help when I needed it. I had said things like, "What does that mean?" and I missed the last part.
And those small sentences kept you inside the conversation instead of making you leave it.
Yes, I did not become a different speaker that day. I just found out that I could stay in a conversation even when it was messy.
That's probably the best part of the story. Not, I became perfect, but I kept going.
And I want to make this very easy for everyone listening. Think about your first real English conversation, or the first one you want to have.
Then write one simple line in the comments. My first real English conversation was at, and finish the sentence.
It can be at work, at an airport, online, in a shop, Anywhere. If it hasn't happened yet, write where you hope it happens.
That's an easy comment, and I really want to read those answers. I think we'll see many different places and many funny stories.
And if this episode made you smile or made speaking feel a little less scary, give it a like. It helps Modern English Podcast reach more learners.
And subscribe if you want more easy, natural English with us. We'll keep the conversations useful, relaxed, and only slightly dangerous for Ava's old mistakes.
My old mistakes are doing too much work on this show. Before we finish, let's do a very short word tour.
Only a few harder words and phrases today. First, caught me off guard. It means something surprised you before you were ready for it.
Next, cracked. If glass or a screen is cracked, it has a broken line in it, but it may still be in one piece.
Another phrase is worth a look. It means something seems interesting or good enough to check out.
And impressive. We use it for something that makes us admire it because it's very good, strong, beautiful, or difficult to do.
That's enough. No giant list. I think your repaired phone and your English both survived the episode.
They did, although one of them still has a better battery than the other.
Before we go, Ava, I have one last question, and I already know you're going to avoid it.
That sounds accurate already. Fine, Lucas, ask your question.
If your phone disappeared for 25 minutes today, who would you miss hearing from first?
That is a very careful question. You made it sound general, but I can see exactly what you're doing.
I'm just curious, that's all. You can answer in simple English if that helps.
Then my realistic answer is some questions need more preparation than my first English conversation.
That is not an answer, Ava.
It is the answer you're getting today, Lucas. Maybe your English is not strong enough for the full version.
Wow, I help you through an entire story and this is how I'm treated?
You survived. Everyone, thank you for listening to Modern English Podcast. I hope this story reminds you that a real conversation can be imperfect and still be a good conversation.
Keep your sentences simple, stay curious about the other person, and don't disappear just because one word is missing.
And if you make a funny mistake, you may remember it for years. That's not always bad. Sometimes it becomes the best part of the story.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep listening, keep speaking, and please don't tell people you become boring when you mean tired.
I knew you would use that one more time. Take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye, everyone. And Ava, that boring mistake was wrong in more than one way.
That sounded suspiciously close to a compliment, Lucas.
You can interpret it however you like. I'm not explaining that sentence.